Well, we got something. It's some type of finale. It's a perfect bow on the end of the season 1 of Lazarus. Let's hop into it. Let's look at the key reveals. Let's look at Dr. Skinner, Axel, and the future of Team Lazarus. So, just like I've been saying through the entire review series of Lazarus, it is a slow burn. We're up and down. We have some very fun fight scenes. We have some very engaging characters. And then on the flip side, we have a very slow burn. It's not an anime that you are going to be glued to the screen at every single moment. It is something that you need to watch, you need to take in, and you need to think about it. Now, again, like the classics like Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo, we know Watanabe's writing style. It is at a very slow pace. We also know that Lazarus essentially is a revised version of Cowboy Bebop. With all that taken into account, I'm not a fan of it. I thought it was slow. I thought it did not have a good flow to it. Every single episode, I would sit back and try to ingest on what happened. I would try to sit back and think about what they were thinking and how this would lead into the very next episode. There were a few. There were like 3 or 4 episodes that I really did enjoy. The first one to start us off, and then a couple in the middle and towards the end. But for the season finale, it did give you what you wanted as to answers of the Hypno drug, Dr. Skinner, Axel, and Team Lazarus. We also get a little tomfoolery from the heads up. Just like we do in the real world, we know that the government is always going to look out for their best interest, and we see that here in Lazarus. As I predicted, Dr. Skinner wants a pure world. And once he knew that his Hypno medicine would be used as a government agent, he knew that he did not want that to be any part of his devices. The U.S. government was going to take Hypno and they were going to make it into a dangerous weapon. And they did. That's when he was sitting inside of the airport, and that's when he was caught between Homeland Security and the U.S. Army. They were trying to get their hands on the drug so they could weaponize it. At that time, he made a conscious decision that he was going to go off the grid. He knew that since it was going to be developed as a weapon as itself, he was going to be the person to put it out. He was going to be the one to be like, I'm tired of seeing this happen over and over again. All these humans are greedy and they only look out for themselves. So he released the agent. He came out on the big screen and he told everybody, we have 1 month. We have 30 days to think about this as a human species. And throughout the series, you got to see we're still having wars. We're still having all these disputes amongst powers overseas. He saw this at the genesis whenever he was inside of the airport, and he decided to do something about it himself. You even see Axel and Team Lazarus talking to him at the end. They start asking questions like, do you think that it was a good idea for us to try to find you? Do you think humanity is good? It's an open-ended question, but it has to be brought to attention. What do you think? What does the audience think? No matter how much good we put into the world, there's always going to be bad actors and bad people. Lazarus does shine with that. It does give you a deep, slow burn. It makes you think about that. Now, to the anime itself, it was slow and boring, but on a methodical, on a deep learning aspect, yeah, I can understand where he is coming from. It's a lot different than the other 2 animes that I mentioned, but hey, it's his twist and it's his take on it. As we go deeper into the anime, we learn about the Hudon. So it's going to be Axel versus the unknown agent. They were part of a team back in the day where they were going to essentially erase your identity and turn you into a weapon. Again, reaffirming why Dr. Skinner let Hypno out into the world. You have these kids, they erase their minds, they turn them into savages, they turn them into ninjas, they turn them into killers, they turn them into tier 1 monsters. There's just so much evil. So again, to reaffirm what Dr. Skinner had in mind, he released Hypno. This is another example. Along with the Hudon, Axel was one to regain his memories slightly, and he's choosing to go upon the more better path. Lastly, to get into it, this piercing edge, the grand finale, whatever you want to call it, we understand that Team Lazarus, all of them, every single member of Lazarus, Elaine, Hirsch, Leyland, and Axel were in the airport during the initial exposure. It is confirmed that they all died. When they died, they came back to life, they were being tracked, they were getting heads caught on, all this and third. The Dr. Hirsch, she is the one who brought them all together because all of them had some type of antibody to the Lazarus drug. They knew that since they had the antibody, they had the best chance of all of them having something in common and being able to find Dr. Skinner. Doug, on the other hand, he hit the nail on the head. I believe it was episode 2, whenever we first came in contact with the trans homeless community leader. She was talking about a person who was inside of her encampment. Somebody who was obsessed with greenery and obsessed with flowers. So Doug, hats off to you for finding that. The icing on the cake, everything that people are going to remember is the ending. Of course, you have to leave a little leeway for season 2. I don't think it's necessary. I think it's personally trash and it is just wasting anime for us. This is very similar and very comparable to my DC's Creature Commandos review. That's going to be coming out soon. Again, you need to just let it die. This needs to be a standalone. Samurai Champloo, standalone. Cowboy Bebop, standalone. Lazarus needs to fall in line with the rest of Watanabe's projects of the past and just be a standalone. Axel has some type of corny saying at the very end, quote unquote, "I'm looking for another reason to kick some ass." Well, how about you don't? But that's it. That's a waste of time. That's 13 weeks we will never get back. I am not a fan of this writing style in particular. Like I said, Cowboy Bebop, for what it was worth back in the day, you have to give them a pass. It's an anime classic, so you can't really shit talk them too bad. The project afterward with Samurai Champloo, it's a little funny with Jin and all those other guys in the aspect. There's a loose canon storyline that you do get to follow. This follows suit like that. There is a loose canon storyline, but it takes too many lefts, too many rights, and he's trying to go too deep for what it is worth. You only get 13 episodes and you don't really get that in depth. If you want to be a deeper, more meaningful, more thoughtful anime, you need to stretch this out into 26 episodes. So that's it. That's the series finale, hopefully, but definitely season 1 finale of Lazarus. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Make sure you join the Discord. We're over 260 subs. That's my honest review. Not a fan. It's going down as a 3 out of 10. Sorry, Watanabe. I never like to shit on new animes. I was ecstatic for this bad boy to come out, but it did not live up to the hype. Sorry. 3 out of 10. Do not recommend. Will not be a classic in my book. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bunch of huge animes coming out. Kaiju number 8, part 2 of Dandadan and Sakamoto Days, and many, many more. That's the review. Appreciate y'all. See you on the next one.